Hey guys, before we get started, this video was written as the news unfolded. Because of that, some things have since been resolved, or seemingly fates have been delayed. Stick around to the end for an update as to how the Red Bull situation stands at the end of the weekend, but in the meantime, let's delve into the chaos as it unfolded. Having faced what feels like a constant barrage of controversy for over a month now, Red Bull seem to be caught in an inescapable vortex which is dragging the team deeper and deeper into the mud. Those at the top of the team are being marred in investigations and public scrutiny so intense that the question now seems to be a case of when, not if, something breaks within the team. All of this is very much at odds with their continued dominance, which is visible on the track throughout every session so far this season. Red Bull are in a very fortunate position that, in spite of the calamity behind the scenes, they have the form driver on the grid, who through consistently gapping his teammates has made his status as top dog pretty inarguable, as well as possibly the greatest race car designer of all time and a stubborn second driver willing to be brazenly patient throughout this whole ordeal. However, all parties have made it clear in the past that there are certain conditions which will push them away from the current world champions, and it's hard to ignore the fact that a few of these conditions are incredibly close to being fulfilled. So once again, the question seems to be not if something breaks, but when and just how severe. Want to know why the recent news coming out of Red Bull points towards a mass exodus? It seems it may have turned into a tale of betrayal, and if you had told us last season that it would be like this, we certainly would not have believed you. And stick around, because even the most patient at the team feel that time may be running out for them. No matter how much Red Bull may not want to be the center of attention at the moment, they really can't help themselves, can they? Following on from Christian Horner's incredibly public investigation, it is Helmut Marko who has found himself under scrutiny from within the team. The team advisor may be facing a suspension from duty due to disciplinary action carried out against him, pending the result of an investigation. Shockingly, the investigation relates to various media leaks that have taken place throughout, as well as following the investigation into team boss Christian Horner. Obviously, we should say right now that no conclusion has been made of this and the investigation is still ongoing upon writing this script. But if this is found out to be true, then it's fair to say that things have certainly escalated, and the internal unity that has been insisted upon by the likes of Horner and Perez will be revealed to be an absolute sham. When Marko was asked about the suspension that could be imposed as early as Monday, the team advisor had this to say: "I'll put it this way, it's difficult to judge, or let's put it this way, ultimately, I'll decide for myself what I do. The theoretical possibility always exists. I think it's such a complex issue. Again, we want peace in the team. The World Championship will be difficult enough with 24 races, and we have to concentrate on that." Suitably vague from Marko, however, the conversation lacks the denial and urgency seen by his colleague. The key issue that everyone's mind must surely go to is Verstappen's standing in the team, with the Dutch driver making it incredibly clear that Marko must stay and for nothing to be changed in order to keep him at the team, with Max doubling down on his very stern comments surrounding a potential Marko exit last season in an interview with Sky Sports recently. "Helmut and I, we have a lot of respect for each other. My loyalty in general to Red Bull, but also to him, after all for what he has done for me, goes very far. I've always said, especially after Dietrich's passing, with everyone in the team, that I find it really important that we keep the key team together, because that's how we have performed really well, and that's how we will perform really well in the future. They know that. For me, Helmut is a very key factor in that, and he has to stay for me for sure." The most incredible thing, Max saved for last, as when he was asked whether Marko has to stay in order to ensure he sees out his current contract, the three-time world champion and championship leader said, "I've always said that to the team, they know that." It's been ruminated on recently, with all the rumors linking Max to his old rival's current seat at Mercedes, as to just what could be the thing to ignite such an extreme switch-up, given that the world champion has a contract tying him to the team for the long term. The understanding is that Max may have a clause in his contract similar to the Horner-Newey clause in their old contracts, with them being able to walk out the door if the tied contract is terminated. And in the build-up to the race weekend, Max all but confirmed this to be the case. Max said last week in the build-up to the race that it would take something crazy for him to leave the team, and when he was asked if Marko leaving the team or being forced out could be that crazy thing, Max replied, "That's quite an understatement if that happens. That's crazy, let's see what happens. We'll see if something happens next week." He has built this team from the ground up with Dietrich's blessing, and I think he's always kept a good relationship with a lot of people in the team and backed the important people and in crucial moments as well. He's definitely a key member now for the future. It's not only the inner workings of the team that could be grinding away at Max Verstappen's patience with the team, as his father's public scrutiny and denouncement of the team principal and subsequent pushback from Horner is surely sawing away at Max's resolve. Max was recently questioned as to whether his father regrets his public denouncement of Horner, to which Max replied that he hasn't asked him, but also that his father is not a liar. Obviously, being asked to pick a side between family and career, especially when the line between is so blurred, is an impossible task for Verstappen to undertake. However, it's clear that Jos has no intentions on turning down the pressure on Horner, with him recently responding like this to Horner's public outcry to draw a line under the whole situation. I think it's a bit too late for that now. If that's what he wants, fine, but I don't think it will be possible. I don't want to talk too much more as it will create problems. But the most important thing for me is that Max is happy. That's what counts for me. I just want him to be happy. I sympathize with the woman, with all that she went through, but we will see what happens. He would also later double down on his opinion that the whole ordeal is having a blatant effect on Max, even before the announcement of his career's linchpin Marco being put under threat of suspension. Jos has maintained that Horner is nothing but trouble if he sticks around, and he is sticking with that belief consistently, as he said. But all these things are going to have an influence on Max. He was third in the first practice, and all we hear about is Horner and what happened with his situation. In the press conference Horner gave the other day, it was all about him and his problems when we should be talking about Max, the car, his performance and the race. I've already said I think it's causing problems if he stays. I think it's too late for Christian to say leave me alone, but he has the support of the Thai owner, so I think he will stay for the rest of the season. I said it would be bad if he stayed. It really isn't good for the team, this whole situation. And it's not only Horner, Marco and Verstappen whose futures are in question, as Sergio Perez has recently hinted for the first time that it may be him that decides to leave Red Bull, rather than the team forcing him out as constantly believed over the past couple of seasons. Sergio spoke of the individual pressures that come with the Red Bull seat and how it has destroyed clearly brilliant drivers that have gone on to recover a semblance of a career in a matter of months, clearly indicating towards Albon and Gasly. It seems that the pressure that has made diamonds and championships over the years has been redirected in recent months and are now running the risk of not only breaking the pipes but blowing the whole damn business apart. With Adrian Newey not responding well to power struggles and imbalances within the team, as indicated by his departure from Williams in the late 90s, it seems that every high-profile position in the team is trembling under the weight of an increased pressure both from within and outside the team. We said it at the start, the more and more threads there are to pull at, starting with Horner leading to Jos, pulling to Max, hinging on Marco, forcing out Newey and not convincing Perez, the whole operation at Red Bull falling apart seems to be turning into a case of when, not if. The greatest victory of Red Bull's existence, eclipsing even the triumph of last season, would be finding a way to appease Max's wishes of keeping everything in its right place and preventing the team from crumbling. Amazingly, Max continues to display a level of professionalism and talent that transcends the off-track issues, but the next week could be crucial as to whether Red Bull can retain his generational talent within their garage for the years to come. Okay, so where do we stand at the end of the weekend? Before the race, Helmut Marko made an announcement to Sky Sports Germany, which was corresponded live by Simon Lazenby. Some breaking news, we were saying in regards to Helmut Marko, he's just been speaking to our colleagues at Sky Germany. He said he's had a good conversation with Oliver Mintzlaff. He is, of course, the man I suppose who would have potentially suspended him, had that been the case. Marko said, "There's no more rumors, I will stay. I'm very thankful to Max Verstappen for his support. Max is the only person who has this all straight and clear." Obviously, Marko saying this does not necessarily mean that water is under the bridge, as the internal investigation is yet to be confirmed to have concluded. While Marko will likely maintain his position for the time being, there is still a sense that the wolves are closing in at Red Bull, and that either something drastic needs to change or the team will need to demonstrate an iron resolve to get through the remainder of the season intact. In regards to any possibility of Verstappen leaving the team, Horner also delivered a blunt rebuttal after the race. Max is an important member of our team, he's a valued member of our team, he's a wonderful driver, but everybody has a role to play in this team. We are a team. No single individual is bigger than the team. Also, Jos is still not backing down, and even though the team in its current form lives on to see another day, Jos is yet to be proven wrong in his belief that while the team stays the same, the timer on the bomb ticks down.